medicating the millions for ills advertised on TV. You got pills for erections, ADD and depression. Hell, I think you made up some of these. Big pharma, you're evil, bad karma. You're keeping America drugged. You buy politicians and keep us addicted. You're nothing but legalized thugs. But here's the real rubbing. Those pills don't do nothing for all of the money we've blown. I think I can ease big pharma disease. If you don't mind, I'll just roll my own. Big pharma, it seems greed is your mantra. Money's more important than health. Well, how many have died from the drugs you've supplied? I wonder how you can live with yourself. Big pharma, you're evil, bad karma. Keeping America drugged. You buy politicians and keep us addicted. You're nothing but legalized thugs. You buy politicians and keep us addicted. You're nothing but legalized thugs.
Ain't that the GD truth? That is the GD truth. You know, I try my hardest to stay away from politics here on the show, and for a couple of different reasons. One, because, listen, I have my opinions and my facts when it comes to politics, and, of course, you have yours, and you're never going to change my mind, and in this day and age, I'm never going to change your mind. We're just going to go round and round and round. And really, nowadays, nobody seems able to talk politics without it turning into some kind of knife fight, right? Nobody can have a civil conversation about what's going on with our country when it comes to these ass-bag politicians anymore without it turning into some type of knife fight, riots, or whatever the case may be. But, you know, that song brings up a good example of how out of control our federal government is. Now, the same government that says, okay, beer's okay, even though we have a problem with drinking and driving, and oh, so many are dying because you get drunk and get behind the wheel, but we're not going to legalize pot. And let me ask you this, and I know this is kind of a cliche that everybody refers to, but seriously, how many accidents have you heard of that have taken lives or caused major damage because somebody smoked some pot? I mean, let's just be honest about that. I mean, for me personally, I'll get in a car with someone who's been smoking pot any day before I'll get in a car with somebody who's drunk. I mean, right? I mean, listen, most potheads I know are doing at least 10 miles below the damn speed limit. You know what I mean? Like, even if they do run into something, well, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? But, the same government that okays all these other drugs that are out there, all these pills, right now, you hear our media talking about what this huge epidemic there is of this the opioids. Oh, my God, there's such an opioid epidemic. We got to get it under control. And right there is your federal government in work. This is your government that causes a problem, and then whatever cycle later decides they have an answer for it, but typically only makes it worse. It's insane. I don't get it. Our federal government is out of control. I'm going to go to church for a minute here. I try to stay away from politics here, but what I'm about to tell you is based in fact, not my opinion, but based in fact. And because it is Friday nights, and Friday nights I can do whatever the hell I feel like doing because it's more for me than it is for you, I'm going to go to church here for a moment. You know, I see on Facebook all the time, everybody nowadays expects you to draw a line in the sand and choose a side. And I'm here to tell you both sides are fucked in the head. Both sides. I don't give a crap if you're claiming Democrat. I don't give a crap if you're claiming Republican, and if you want to take it a little deeper and maybe call yourself a liberal or a conservative, you're all fucked in the head, and you're all a bunch of hypocrites, plain and simple. Let me tell you something. Our federal government was put in place to protect our freedoms and sovereignty. Nothing more, nothing less. Federal government wasn't put in place to hand out welfare. It wasn't put in place to decide who gets health care and who doesn't, or how health care should be run. It wasn't put in place to run businesses. They had one job and one job only. Protect our borders to keep us a country. Because without our borders, we are not a country. That was their only job. Now, again, I don't give a crap what side you're on or what party you claim or any of that crap. And a moment ago, I called you all a bunch of idiots. But think about it. You have sides deciding your life. It's not the way it's supposed to work. Not with the federal government. And think of it this way. If anybody out there, and again, I don't care what you're claiming, what set you're claiming, G-Dog, give me one instance that the federal government has put their sticky little fingers into, and it's worked out best for the American people. Every single thing that our federal government has taken control over, they have absolutely ruined, bankrupted, or corrupted. And again, those are facts. That's not my opinion. Those are facts. There's a bigger picture to this. Right? I'll tell you what our federal government has been successful at. Our federal government has been totally 100% successful of turning the people against each other. You got gays against straights, straights against gays, blacks against whites, whites against blacks, religions versus religions. All spurred on by the government. Because while we bicker and fight amongst ourselves, they continue to take more and more freedoms away from us. And again, that's on all sides. And everybody's all happy when something is forced upon, something they disagree with, but the moment it treads into what they believe in, then it's a whole different story. Again, this is where I go back and saying all sides are nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. Here's the thing. Our forefathers pointed out, they didn't give us, they pointed out the fact that humans, we the people of this country, are born with certain rights, personal rights. And if we all went back to that, and if we all realized that, there would be no need for special rights or extra rights for certain groups. And I'll give you a small example here. Now, I don't give examples to pick on a certain group or call out a certain group or anything like that. These are things that are happening nowadays that are just good, perfect examples. All right? Let's take the latest here. The whole transgender in the military thing. I get the arguments of both sides, but I still think you're both fucked. Because what it boils down to is, as I said earlier, just because someone can't decide how they pee doesn't mean that they're any less able to perform in the military. And in my humble opinion, this is where I'll get away from fact for a moment and interject my opinion, but in my humble opinion, if you're willing to lay your life on the line, and when I say willing, volunteer. People seem to forget that the men and women in our armed forces volunteer to put their life on the line to do what they think is protecting our freedoms. Nowadays, even our military has forgotten who it is they're actually fighting for. They've been brainwashed over the decades to believe that they're there to protect the government, which isn't the case. They're there to protect we, the people. But nonetheless, to stay on my example here, they volunteer to put their life on the line on what they feel is protecting this country and protecting the freedoms of the people. And we're going to sit here like a bunch of idiots and bicker about who's in the military. It shouldn't even be a question. Now, I have my certain opinions on the whole transformer thing or whatever it is. But I also wholeheartedly believe in our Constitution, what this country was founded on, and personal rights and all that other crap. And personal rights is an important thing because we've turned into a society that believes every group or person has one extra right or two extra rights more than the next. And that's not the case. If we went back to the simple, every man, woman here in America is born with the same exact rights, there'd be no need for that extra BS. And I'll give you another example of that. Let's go to the gay marriage thing. I have my personal opinions on the whole gay thing. But my opinions don't matter because it's none of my damn business. What somebody is doing in their bedroom at night is none of my business. And as long as they don't force it into my bedroom, I have no right to say a damn word about it. You have every right to be straight just as much as you do gay. Now, but this is where people start to lose the whole focus and the whole focus of the whole personal right things. All right? Gay people, you have every right to be gay and do whatever it is that you do in your bedroom. And nobody has the right to interfere in that. But you do not have the right to force others to follow along with what you believe. Others are allowed to not believe in it. A business has the right not to service something because it goes against their beliefs. That's where it gets fucked. You do not have the right to ask your government to force others to believe in your way. You have every right in the world to be that way, but you do not have the right to force others to believe in it. And that's vice versa. That goes for straights also. You straights have every right in the world to be straight and do whatever it is to do in your bedroom, but you have no right to force that onto somebody who doesn't believe in that. It pisses me off. People have gotten so away from this. Now, I will tell you that I personally had an issue with gay marriage. And the only reason why I had an issue with it is because of the word marriage. And to be fair, I will tell you, I have a big problem, not with just gays when it comes to that, but with our government. Because, see, back in the day, and I don't expect a lot of you to know this, because by design, proper history, proper founding of this country is no longer taught in the public schools. And that is by design. If you know your proper history, you'll know that our forefathers warned us that if we let the federal government into the public school system, a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with today would be happening. We were warned about this. Now, the reason why I had a problem with it is because marriage was already defined. It was defined before, gay people got into it, and it was defined before government got into it. Marriage originally was a union between a man, a woman, and their